Rams House. On today's episode of the Rams Report by Chat Sports, we've got a special focus for you. We are honing in on the coaching interview requests going around the league. I know we're still in the playoffs. I know our focus as a team is 100% on the game this weekend against the Bears. But us as fans, we should probably be aware of what's progressing in the coaching carousel around the league. And what do bad teams do when they need new coaches? They come pick from the best trees in the NFL. And I think we all know we've got a great one going with our guy, Sean McVay. So, of course, as always, they're going to be coming after our coordinators and our assistants. We're going to talk about three guys that are already getting interview requests today. But before we do it, I want to hear from you guys. How long have you been a Rams fan for? Fill in this blank for me. I've been a Rams fan since enter your year. I'm going to give you guys my answer right here. I'm a diehard Rams fan. I have been one since going all the way back, and this is aging myself a little bit here, 2010. Coming up on 16 years this April of being a Rams fan. I became a Rams fan when I was 9 years old. I was actually about to turn 9 this year in 2010, and the Rams had drafted Oklahoma quarterback Sam Bradford. I grew up in Edmond, Oklahoma, an enormous Oklahoma Sooners fan, and as soon as Bradford was a Ram, so was I. And I've never gone back on it since. So let me know, what's your story? How'd you become a Rams fan? And how long have you been one since? But let's get into the news. Interview requests are coming in for three of our guys, like I said off the top. And the number one, the least surprising one, I know we all know this guy was going to get a ton of buzz. He was getting buzz last year as well. Our guy, Chris Shula, our defensive coordinator. He has 4 interview requests. He had 3 up until about 20, 30 minutes before me and producer Ponzi hopped in the studio to film this thing, and he got another one from the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, 4 interview requests for Chris Shula. The New York Giants have requested him. The Miami Dolphins have requested him, which we'll hone in on that one a little bit because it's pretty interesting. The Tennessee Titans have requested him, and now also the Pittsburgh Steelers. On the other side of the ball, Mike LaFleur has received a couple requests. The Raiders and the Arizona Cardinals have put in requests for our guy Mike. We'll talk about that. And lastly, our passing game coordinator, Nate Scheelhaase, has also received 2 requests, Cleveland and Pittsburgh as well. And that Pittsburgh request, just like it is with Shula, is very, very new. That just came in the last 20 to 30 minutes. But let's talk about Shula first. Because to be honest with you guys, I said this off the jump. I don't think we're keeping him this offseason. I think of these 3 guys, Chris Shula is by far the most likely to depart Los Angeles this offseason for a head coaching role with another team. Why? Because he's got easily the best resume of these 3 guys. Last 2 seasons as the Rams defensive coordinator, he has coached the 10th and 15th ranked defenses with improvement shown in that trend. 15th in 2024, 10th in 2025. He's worked with Sean McVay since 2017. And we all know, as Rams fans, how valuable just being around Sean McVay is to other teams when it comes to hiring their coaches. I truly do believe that NFL teams think magic dust comes off of Sean and lands onto his coordinators and onto his assistants that gifts them with the ability to guide their NFL teams in the same way that Sean guides ours. But lastly, or 2 more things, he's a strong talent developer. We've seen this especially this season. This is something I routinely will give Shula props for. Think about Emmanuel Forbes. Think about what he was before he arrived in Los Angeles, a first-round draft bust, somebody that the Commanders had given up on. Think about Nate Landman, a career special teamer in Atlanta, comes over to Los Angeles and becomes what? A Pro Bowler in his first season. Should have been an All-Pro in my book. And lastly, the other reason why Shula has a strong odds of getting a job, everyone in his family is NFL royalty, especially his grandfather. His grandfather is Don Shula. If you are not familiar with Don Shula, he is the only coach in the entire history of the NFL that has an undefeated season under his belt. Undefeated going all the way to the Super Bowl. That's with the Miami Dolphins. So he's NFL royalty. He's Miami Dolphins royalty. His uncle, Mike Shula, also a NFL coach. But Of the options that have requested him for interviews, Miami feels right to me. And I know this is not just as lazy as, oh, his granddad was a legend in Miami, so therefore he's going to Miami. There's a little bit more to it than that. I do think that the Dolphins like the idea of continuing the Shula legacy. I think that kind of sells tickets for you. But when you think about what the Dolphins need, when you think about the Dolphins' issues over the last couple of years, what is the primary problem with Miami? They lack a defensive culture, and I think Chris Shula could come in and be that guy. I think he could come in and reset things for Miami, get a more hard-nosed mentality for that Dolphins team. They've been soft over the last couple of years. I'll come right out and say it. And I think Chris Shula is anything but, and he would definitely be able to take on that rebuild project as far as the culture goes in Miami and bring back a strong one. I think Miami makes a lot of sense for Chris Shula, but even if it doesn't end up being the Dolphins, I think Shula is getting a head coaching job this offseason. We're going to talk about the other two guys in just a minute, LaFleur and Scheelhaase. But first, I need your guys' help. I need you to subscribe to the Rams Report today because, guys, we are going to be here throughout the playoff run. Hopefully that ends in a Super Bowl appearance, in a Super Bowl win for our Los Angeles Rams. And we get to cover every moment of that. We get to do a stream for the Super Bowl. We got a stream going on this weekend for the divisional round game. We did one last weekend for the wild card. That was a ton of fun if you didn't come out and hang out with us. But we've also got all the latest Rams news you need, all the rumors, all the trades that they might make, the draft projections, free agency. It is all here on the Rams Report by Chat Sports. We are your one-stop shop. So if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, what are you doing? But let's get into Mike LaFleur. Offensive coordinator. We talked about our defensive coordinator. Now we're going to talk about our OC. He's also getting buzz this season. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. As much as there is real buzz here connecting him to Vegas and to Arizona, I don't think that this is going to be a year where he gets that opportunity. And if he does, I'd be pretty surprised. Because I think the primary issue that LaFleur faces, and we're also going to talk about this when we talk about Nate Scheelhaase, is he is not a play caller. Many teams, and you can't blame them for this, want a play caller to come in and take over as their head coach. Why would you not? Why would you want someone who has not had the experience of actually directing the offense, of down-to-down calling the offense? That's Sean McVay's job in Los Angeles, and it always will be. He's not going to cede play calling duties to anybody. So Mike LaFleur has not had that opportunity. I think that in some ways is going to knock him out of the running to be a serious candidate for at least the Vegas job. I think Vegas, having the first overall pick, is going to want a guy who has play calling experience and who can develop Cam Ward. What it doesn't necessarily knock him out of contention for is the other interview request that he has, the Arizona Cardinals job. Our NFC West basement dweller buddies, Arizona. Those guys in Arizona. And, oh boy. I have to be nice to them because they hosted us last year for the playoff. We won't be too harsh on the Cardinals. Plus, I mean, it's just kind of kick and wobble. They're down. But I think Arizona, by virtue of being Arizona, is probably not going to get the top head coaching options in this cycle. Maybe LaFleur is a candidate when the dust settles a little bit and the best guys are available. Arizona's looking around the pool, and they're like, we'll take you. We don't know. I could see that being the move. I don't know that I see that going very well for LaFleur, and I think he's a good guy. I want him to get a better landing spot than that. So I hope he comes back and runs it back with us for one more year before a better option becomes available for him. Scheelhaase. Let's talk about Nate. He's getting a ton of buzz. And this one doesn't surprise me because in some ways, I think Nate Scheelhaase reminds people of Sean McVay. I think there's a little bit of a parallel between these two guys in some ways. Scheelhaase, young guy. He's 35 years old. He's our passing game coordinator right now. And like everybody else on this list, he carries the benefit of having spent time with Sean. But in particular, Nate's been right on his hip. That's the number one narrative you hear every time you hear teams talking about why they want to go get Scheelhaase is because of how closely he works with Sean McVay, how much he's in Sean's ear in terms of the passing game. But why now? Because look at our offense, guys. This is back-to-back years of top 10 passing offenses for this team. This year, we are the number 1 passing offense in the NFL. That's going to get you looks. It absolutely is. There's nothing more important in our sport, arguably, than being able to pass the football. There's a number of other things that allow you to do that. But if you boil it down, having a successful passing attack is arguably the most successful or most important thing to be successful in our entire sport. Of course, when you coordinate an offense like you just did, or not coordinate, but help with the passing game of an offense like you just did, you're going to generate a lot of interest. And it resulted in an MVP campaign for Stafford. Of course, he hasn't won the award yet, but everyone on this video, everyone around the NFL knows that was an MVP caliber season. Even if it doesn't come home with an award. It's absolutely MVP caliber. We can absolutely say that. So those are the 3 primary reasons why Scheelhaase is getting buzz. All 3 of those make sense. But to be completely honest, again, like we talked about with LaFleur, I don't know if he's ready to take this jump yet. At 35 years old, with just a couple seasons of experience as a passing game coordinator even, and no experience as anything above that, I don't know that a team is going to take the chance for him to be a head coach. I think this is a great opportunity for him to get his foot in the door, though, to make connections. And unfortunately, I think we're likely going to lose him. Doesn't worry me too much. I'm never too worried about losing our guys as they come and go. Sean McVay has proven time and time again he can hire and replace, and that he is the key component of what drives our success. We've seen a lot of turnover over his tenure. We've had a lot of guys get picked off this tree, but I don't think it's going to be the end of the world, and I think it's a good opportunity for Nate Scheelhaase. I think what most likely is going to happen with him, as again, I said he presents a lot of the same issues as LaFleur, but just almost kind of magnified even more with less experience, wasn't even the offensive coordinator in this offense, still has not been able to call plays. I think it's pretty likely at the end of the day that he gets an offensive coordinator role somewhere else. Watch out for a couple teams that are currently have open positions right now. Washington has an open spot. I think that would be interesting. Washington filled their spot. Producer Ponzi is telling me. Did that happen today? Yeah, okay. Excuse me. Washington does not have an open offensive coordinator role. The Detroit Lions have an open offensive coordinator role. The Kansas City Chiefs will have an open offensive coordinator role. There are a number of teams around the league that do have open offensive coordinator roles. Washington Commanders are apparently not one of them. My bad on that, guys. But all of that to say, I think Nate Scheelhaase is going somewhere else to be an offensive coordinator, and hopefully he could get the opportunity to call plays so he can continue to progress in his career. Because like I said, I think that's what we should root for a lot of these guys. At the end of the day, Sean McVay is the key to our success. His ability to continue to hire and replace people is not something that I'm willing to bet against. So I'm always happy to see our guys get opportunities to succeed, knowing it's not really going to drag down us, and they just get to build themselves up. But all that being said, that's going to basically finish it for today's episode of the Rams Report. Before you get out of here, we need some help from you guys. The Rams need some help from you guys. This game against the Chicago Bears this weekend, I am so excited for it. But Bears fans have been flooding the comments on the Rams Report. There have been more Bears fans in the comments lately than there have been Rams fans. We need to send a message today by spamming LAR in the comments. Let them know we are here. Let the Bears fans know the Rams fans are showing up. The Rams house is here on the channel, and that you'll be here on the watch party. I need your guys' help. They're going to show up then, too. They're going to try to drown me out, even though we're kicking their asses on the field. I need you to show up at our watch party on 2:30 on Sunday and get loud. Cheer for your Rams. Help me out. Help me drown out these Bears fans. They're so annoying. But all of that is coming on Sunday. I will see you guys then. We're going to have a great, great time. If you enjoyed this, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the watch party. And again, I've been Jackson Durham. See you guys next time.